agreeing to what was stated by the Honorable Degamo. A threat is a threat, with or without a condition.
Closer to the microphone, ma'am.
A threat is a threat, with or without a condition. The crime of grave threats is consummated with or without a condition. In the case of Calawag versus People, GR number 171511, March 4, 2009, the Supreme Court held, quote, in grave threats, the wrong threatened amounts to a crime which may or may not be accompanied by a condition, end of quote. That's all, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Thank you. The
May-
Honorable SDML Lawrence Defensor.
may I add something to what the Honorable De Lima has said? This is not simply a threat punishable under a statute. This is not simply a threat that is defined under the revised penal code, but this is an impeachable offense which violates the Constitution. Thus, it is betrayal of public trust. Thus, it is a high crime, regardless of whether it is a threat, because of the gravity of this act by the Vice President. So remember, it is not a simple crime under a statute or a law, but this is an impeachable offense under the Constitution. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Thank you. Honorable Laila De Lima.
I'm constrained to add also to what was stated by the Honorable Defensor on that matter. We have to consider, Madam Chair, let us be very clear about the gravity of who was threatened. The President is not just an individual. He is the embodiment of executive power, the Commander-in-Chief, and the central figure in maintaining national stability. A threat against the life of the President is not a private matter. It is a direct threat to the continuity of government itself. Kapag ang Pangulo ang binabantaan ay ang pamahalaan na kanyang pinamumunuan. And here, Madam Chair, the concern is even more serious. These hearings have shown that the Vice President is not speaking in a vacuum. There are allegations and patterns that point to access, influence, and capacity to carry out violence. From long-standing associations with violent enforcement mechanisms to the normalization of force in political conduct, these are not abstract risks. They are real, credible, and deeply alarming. This is precisely why such statements cannot be dismissed as rhetoric. They must be treated as dangerous and actionable threats. They constitute inciting to sedition. By publicly invoking violence against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House, she is legitimizing and encouraging acts of hostility against persons in authority. At hindi lang po pagbabanta ito sa mga pinangalanang opisyal. Atake ito sa pundasyon ng ating pamahalaan. Insulto ito sa bawat Pilipinong gumagalang sa batas at pinahalagahan ng pagkasagrado ng buhay. Yes, sabi nga po ni Representative, the Honorable Defensor, this is not just a criminal issue. This is impeachable conduct. The Constitution is clear. Public office is a public trust, yet the evidence shows conduct that endangers that trust at its very core. At kung papaglapasin lang ho natin malinaw ang mensahe, pwedeng bantaan ang Pangulo at walang pananagutan. This is not just about one official. Madam Chair, the evidence before us is serious, substantial, and alarming. If we fail to act on this, we do not just ignore a threat, we weaken the very foundations of accountability in this country. Maraming salamat po.
All the manifestations are noted by the committee. May we know if Congressman Attorney J.P. Padiernos is here? Because if not, then we have the last justice member to raise question on. He is the last to raise question on threat. Wala ba si Congressman J.P. Padiernos? If he's not here, before we conclude on the allegations of threat, may we direct first the committee secretary to call the vice president for the third time.
May the committee know if the respondent, Vice President Sara C. Duterte, is present in today's hearing? The respondent, Vice President Sara Duterte, is not present at today's hearing. Madam Chair.
Let it be placed on the record that the committee secretary called the vice president for the third time, and she continues to be not around in our hearing today. This is for the purpose of extending to her the continuing opportunity to present her evidence, including counter evidence, as well as raising clarificatory questions through the justice members. That is for the record. Chair Benny Abante is raising his hand.
Thank you, Madam
You're
Chair.
recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kanina po pinapakinggan ko yung mga clarificatory questions sa NBI. Let me spin the statement of Mayor Baste on the Mussolini and the Romanovs, no? In relation to the statement of VP Sara on her being the designated survivor. Talagay ko, related po ito sapagkat ang pinapalagay po ng Mayor Baste sa aking palagay, ang mga Romanov at Mussolini, yun po yung ating Pangulo. Ano? Pero ano po naman sila? Sila po yung Bolshevik. Saka yung Italian Parisian na pumatay kay Mussolini. Yun lang po ang ibig sabihin yan Now, Madam Chair, the NBI should also look into this, sapagkat narinig ko in the past, nung aming pinag-uusapan sa Quadcom ito, na merong 2,000 loyalists ang mga Duterte. I do not know if the NBI has heard that recently. Sapagkat pinanggit po ng NBI ng kanilang security, umaabot na 500 Pero I heard during the Quadcom hearing na meron 2,000 na loyalists. Hindi necessarily security na loyalists na member ng mga Marines at member ng PNP ang mga Dutertes. Yun po ba narinig na ng ating NBI?
Madam Chair, yeah, that's why earlier I'm preparing about the hearing on the Quadcom dahil doon nga po namin napika po yan.
Okay, so I hope that the NBI would also look into this, Madam Chair, no? Well, nais ko muna balikan ang mga sinabi ni Ginoong Madriaga noong April 14, 2026 sa harapan ng committee na ito, So, may I request the committee secretary to please flash page 9 of the supplemental affidavit ni Ginoong Madriaga. Can we do that, please?
Secretariat, please flash the affidavit of Ramil Madriaga. With the clarificatory questions of Chair Benny Abante, we have crossed towards destabilization. That is for the guidance of the justice members.
Okay, thank you. Wala na po akong question. I just would like to make a manifestation on the destabilization and threat.
Yes, you may proceed, Honorable Abante.
Kung natatandaan po natin, Madam Chair, binanggit ni Ginoong Madriaga na pinagkasunduan ni na former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte at PBBM natatakbong Vice Presidente si VP Duterte, pero nang mag-2025, si PBBM daw ay pumayag na bumaba sa pwesto at iiwan ang pagka-presidente kay VP Duterte. Ngayon, in relationship to what VP Sara has said, being the designated survivor. In relation din po sa sinabi ni Mayor Baste about the Romanov and Mussolini, ang general objective nito daw ay sisiguruhin na si BBBM ay magiging presidente ng wala pang 4 na taon. At uupo si VP Sara bilang Pangulo nang hanggang magtapos ang termino ni BBBM. Ito daw ay para si VP Duterte ay maging eligible pa rin na tumakbo bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas sa 2028. At kung hindi kusang loob, bumaba sa posisyon si PBBM para maging Pangulo si VP Duterte, ay meron silang gagawing tinatawag nating extraordinary measures na pwedeng gawin. Kasama dito ang, sabi nila, sabi ni Madriaga, assassination, mass resignation of government officials, civil disobedience, at armed assault on Malacanang. Kaya siguro po nasabi ni Mayor Baste tungkol kay Romanov at Mussolini. Kung titingnan po natin ang mga naging aksyon ni VP Duterte at tulad sa mga nilahad sa paragraph 110 to 114 ng Sabalya Complaint, hindi siya nag-attend ng SONA noong 2024 at dineklara niya ang kanyang sarili bilang designated survivor. Galing ano po. Ngayon lang ako nakakita ng leader ng bansa na mayabang at arugante. Oho, di ba? Ayan. Sumama at sumuporta sa mga prayer rally para sa akusadong si Kibuloy, kung saan nila kinestyon ang pagiging lehitimong presidente ni BBM at gusto pa nga ni VP Duterte. Ang sabi po, napugutan ng ulo si BBM na bigay po dyan sa video. So para sa akin, Madam Chair, hindi maiiwasang mapansin na mga aksyon ni VP Duterte ay tugma sa inilahad ni Ginoong Madriaga. Yun lang po ang gusto kong sabihin. At ito po ay nalalaman at narinig ng taong bayan, ibig sabihin, hindi lang po tayong uhusga dito, kundi ang uhusga dito ay ang buong sambayanang Pilipino. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair Benny Abante. Still on the destabilization, may we recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Magre-request din po sana ako, wag nang i-play yung mga video natin kasi ang sama po talaga tignan. Wag na pong i-play, baliktad. I've said this during the 19th Congress in one of our press cons, sabi ko. Ang joke po talaga dito is yung iniisip nila na joke o ka-joke-joke o pa-joke-joke lang po yung sinasabi nilang joke itong mga threat sa First Family. I believe this is a serious threat at siguradong-sigurado po ako na active threat ito sa buhay po ng Pangulo, ng First Lady at sa former Speaker. Hanggang ngayon, naniniwala po ako na ito ay active threat sa ating Pangulo. Kaya maganda rin po na nandito mga kasama po natin sa NBI at mga kasama po natin na kongresista. Sana po mabigyan po ng kaukulang atensyon to. Naghihiring na nga po tayo pero baka kailangan po tignan maigi ang seguridad ng ating Pangulo. We have to protect the President. We have to protect President Bongbong Marcos. And for my last manifestation, siguro direkta na po ito sa direkta ko pong kakausapin ng ating Pangulo na sa aming native na language. Aganad kayo po Presidente aduti dakas nga tao nga handag sardeng agaramid ti madi. Tanong lang hang kayong hanyo maala, hanyo magunod dato nga tagumpay para ti presidency kin para ti Pilipinas. Thank you very much.
We
Ma-
note the manifestation of Honorable D.S. Paulo Ortega.
Madam Chair.
Kahit hindi namin naintindihan. Nevertheless, with all due respect to D.S. Paulo Ortega, no, the videos that were played were part of the submissions and were in fact part of the investigation report of the NBI. So notwithstanding the fact that it offends our moral, legal, spiritual senses, I think it is significant that the committee see these videos in order to be guided in the determination of probable cause.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Albi Benitez is recognized.
Yes, I would like to add lang dun sa punto ni Honorable Abante at saka Honorable Ortega. Relevant po sa sinabi nung Madriaga noong April 14, 2026. Dahil po nakikita natin may pwede po mag-establish ng motive o motibo para sa mga ginagawang threat or destabilization. Ang pagbabanta po sa buhay ng ating presidente ay hindi lang isolated incident. Ito po ay hindi ginagawa in the heat of the moment. Hindi lang po ito parang sasabihin mo na bigla. Mukhang ito po ay may isang extraordinary measure na ginagawa at ito po ang binanggit nga ni Madriaga doon sa kanyang testimony at kung hindi po bababa ang Presidente BBM. Nais ko lang po ipaalala at saka masabi sa ating mga kasamahan na ang pinakamakikinabang po dito sa kung mamatay ang ating Presidente ay ang Vice Presidente. Dahil sa ilalim po ng konstitusyon, siya po ang aangat at magiging Pangulo. So ito po ang isa sa probably motive no, ng ating pinag-uusapan ngayon. At ito po ang siguro ang end result na gusto nila mangyari. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
To the NBI, may I just confirm, because D.S. Albi Benitez made a very strong manifestation that the Vice President will be the one to benefit in case something happens to the President. Was this considered also in your investigation?
Yes, ma'am. It was considered in our investigation. Ano po. Katulad po nung i-play yung video kanina, kung babalikan nyo, sabi niya hanggang number 2 lang ako, walang number 1. So we consider that is a statement that she is longing to be the number 1.
All right. That is for the record.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Biron, you're
you.
raising your hand. You will be called next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to direct this question to Director Matibag. Director, sa inyong investigation, in your investigation, involving the threat of the Vice President against the life of the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, have you consulted a psychologist or a psychiatrist to evaluate this threat? I'm asking this question, Madam Chair, because it's very apparent that the Vice President has consistently displayed a violent behavior. That's all, Madam Chair.
For the guidance of the members, the question is about the psychiatric issue of the Vice President, alleged against the Vice President. The NBI may answer.
Well, una nga po, sinasabi namin it is an ongoing investigation. So sa tanong po ni Kagalang-Galang Biron, yan po ay kasama talaga. In fact, meron po kaming behavioral science department, mga professional psychologists who can assess the mental behavior of the Vice President. Lamang nga po, hindi po siya dumalo dun sa patawag ng NBI nung iniimbestigahan po itong threat. But until now po, we are processing it. Ang ginagawa po namin doon sa aming Behavioral Science Department, ibinabase namin doon sa mga video na nakikita namin. First, we authenticate the videos and titingnan po namin yung pattern. And I would like to go back to sa sinabi again ni Congresswoman De Lima na yung behavior, hindi lang po ni Vice President Sara Duterte, kundi yung behavior ng buong pamilya. Just recently nga po, which part of our submission, yung video doon no April 13, yung rally dyan sa Club Pilipino, na may submission po kami niyan. Baka po pwede nating ipakita rin yon. And later on, I will repair the question for a more detail kay RD Lotok dahil naging parte po na investigation yan.
Madam Chair, can we have that video played?
Yeah, Secretariat, please play the
Thank you,
video
Madam
in
Chair.
Club Filipino referred to by Director Melvin Matibag.
Sabihin na natin, oh, may nakawan nangyari, bigayan ng pera, whatever. Kasi that should be enough. Nagkaroon na kayo ng presidente that tolerated it. So what's next? Dadagdagan nyo pa? Nagpasarap na kayo ng sobra-sobra, gusto nyo pa? You know, kung swerte na kayo sa buhay, it's time you give back to the people. Huwag niyong pahirapan yung mga tao. Tama na yan. Okay na yan. Siguro yung mga anak nyo maka-aral sa abroad, you can eat, you know, in a very nice restaurants. Tama na yan. That's
Is
okay.
this the video,
Isang
Director
ulo lang
Matibag?
naman ang kailangan
Yeah,
namin.
that one.
Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Can we play that part again? Because that is the reference of the NBI. The last part of the video, please play again.
Back to the people. Huwag niyong pahirapan yung mga tao. Tama na yan. Okay na yan. Siguro yung mga anak nyo maka-aral sa abroad, you can eat, you know, in a very nice restaurants. Tama na yan. That's okay. Isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin. Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Director Matibag?
Yeah, that's the video, the last portion, where he's referring to the ulo of Bongbong Marcos. And if you recall, on the previous videos that was shown, nandoon din po yung sinasabi rin ni Vice President Sara, ulo ni Bongbong Marcos. So those pattern of behavior, kasama po yan sa pag-aaral po ng mga eksperto namin sa psychology po. And I would like to refer to R.D. Lotok para discuss niya po doon sa portion ng grave threat, kasama po talaga yung proseso dapat na yan.
With the indulgence of DS Beron, they would like to expound on the issue that you raised. The NBI agent is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, based sa investigative cycle phases na sinusundan ho namin, nagpo-fall ho siya sa ikatlong phase. If I may, yung first phase ho na sinundan namin yung identification and preservation, which was explained by Agent Kalilong. And then the second phase, collection and hashing, which was also explained in order to preserve the data. And then yung pangatlo, yung tinatawag po naming analysis and attribution phase. In the analysis phase po, we organize and review the subject digital information. We look for patterns, consistencies, and links. We look for repeated actions, consistent threatening appearances, whether the same or intentional or just spur of the moments. So lahat po ito consider namin yung konteksto kung paano ho kami nag-conclude na indeed yung threatening appearances ng ating Vice Presidente ay papasok ko sa crime of grave threats.
All right, so you apply the totality
Yes, ma'am.
of all the videos presented in your conclusion as to whether or not threat was committed by the Vice President. You
Yes,
confirm
ma'am.
that?
As a matter of fact, yung isa sa mga reason kung ba't nag-issue kami ng subpoena sa ating Vice Presidente ay para ho ma-interview din siya ng aming mga eksperto, ng aming mga psychologists.
But just for the record, dumating ba siya dun sa subpoena ninyo?
Hindi po, ma'am.
She did not appear. DS Beron, do you have additional clarificatory
That's all,
questions?
Madam Chair. Thank you so much.
Can I ask something, DS Beron? Because sometimes I hear psychiatric issue, sometimes I hear psychological issue. What is the difference between the two?
I think DS Garin would be in a better position. He was,
Okay.
she was a former secretary.
With the
of Health.
indulgence of the Honorable Marcoleta, I just overlooked the name of DS Janet Garin and Congressman Digamo. But after them, we will be recognizing you. DS Garin is recognized.
Madam Chair, I can yield to Congressman Paulo Marcoleta, may inaanak after Kong Biron. But just to answer your question, a psychiatrist is a medical doctor trained into the mental makeup of a person. A psychologist is not a doctor, but they also handle the behavior of certain individuals. I can dwell into that, Madam Chair, but I believe what the proper forum, because I was not called as an expert witness on that part, and I am also not a psychiatrist. Thank you, Madam Chair.
For the guidance of the viewing public, DS Perds Biron and DS Janet Guerin are both medical doctors. Would you like to proceed to your clarificatory questions? DS Guerin?
I believe you recognize Congressman Paulo Marcoleta.
With the indulgence also of Congressman Janice Digamo.